Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video is key to English tenses. Really, this video is very important for everything, so grammar, vocabulary, speaking, listening, and so on. And you just need to understand so how these things work. Yeah, just look at it, and I think that really it's a key to English tenses. Yeah. So let's look at it. Let's look at this table. So you see that there are three different times. You see a group, yeah? So it's below, simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous, and time. So present, past, and future, okay? So let's look at the first group, yeah? You just need to understand that there are four groups. There are four groups in English. In English, there are four groups in English. I mean, four groups in English. You are talking about tenses, or four groups of English tenses. Yeah. So the first group, as you see, we call this group simple, yeah, simple. And so you see present simple, past simple, and future simple. Okay, so you should know this group first of all, so you should know it. You should know it first of all, okay? So we are talking about present simple, past simple, and future simple. So when do we use this group? We use this group for things which happen regularly, sometimes, yeah. So it isn't a long action. It isn't a long action. Yeah. It's a short action. Yeah. So it's a short action. It's very important. Okay. So you see. So we form it this way. So verb, for example, yeah, so present simple. So I want it. So verb, or we can add s if it's he, she, it. So for example, he wants it. Okay, he wants it. If you don't have a verb, you use the form of to be, am, is, or are. So if you don't have a verb or no verb, so you use the form of to be. For example, it's interesting. So you don't have a verb and you use the form of to be, it's, yeah? It's a short form, or it can be a long form. Okay, good. So past, yeah, we are talking about this group, so simple, and the first tense is present simple. Okay, so the second tense is past simple, so it's a short action in the past. So short action in the past, you need to know the second form. For example, I wanted it. It's the second form, and this verb is regular. So you need to understand, so this verb is regular or irregular, and you need to memorize. Please memorize or remember. What should you remember? Remember irregular. Irregular verbs. So they are very important for present simple. For example, so I saw your videos. I saw your videos, and we know that we know that this verb is irregular. See, saw, seen. Okay, and so So future simple, it's very easy to form this tense. You see, will plus verb. For example, yeah, let me give you one example. Yeah, so you can say, so I'll go there. I'll go there, or I will go there, or I will go there. So you know that, so will is a full form, and when we meet double L, it's a short form. So I'll go there. Okay, so you see, it's very easy. So if you are looking at the second group, yeah, so we call it continuous. Yeah, the second group, so it's for long actions. Remember, long actions. So the second group, so continuous. Continuous, it's for long actions. For long actions, so and can be long actions. So in the present, yeah, and we form it this way. For example, you can say that I'm learning English. Yeah, so it's a long action. Yeah, at present, it's a long action. At present, I'm learning English. Or you can say it in the past. Yeah, you see how we form it. So was or were. I was learning English. I was learning English. So I was learning English. And you focus on the duration. You focus on the duration. On the duration. So I was learning English. Yeah, you can say past simple. Yeah, I learned English, but it's a short action. It's okay. But when you say I was learning English, it means that you were learning, and so it lasted for a long time. Yeah. So, and we can say it in the future. Yeah. So, for example, I'll be learning English. I'll be learning English with you. I'll be learning English with you. So it's a long action, and you know, it shows importance. It shows importance. So it really shows that it's important for you. I'll be learning English with you, or you can say that I'll be waiting for you. You know, it's a very common example. So I'll be waiting for you. Okay, you just need to understand. So the key to English tenses is that you need to understand so the meaning of each group of these tenses. Yeah. Okay, and then you need to look at the formation, how we form this tense. Okay, so you see that the first group is called simple. Yeah, and you need to understand that it isn't for now, so it's for things which usually happened, or will happen, or often, maybe sometimes, but not now. So it's about short actions. Yeah, in contrast to the second group, continuous. It's for long actions, and again, you see, so present, past, and future. Yeah, so it's very important to know it. Well, you also need to understand when we use, yeah, the other two groups, so perfect and perfect continuous. Okay, let's look, yeah, at the third group. Yeah, we call this group perfect. So perfect. And again, yeah, we see, so present perfect. Okay, so there are 3 times, so present, past, and future, and perfect. Yeah, present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. Present perfect, so past perfect, and you know, it's called future perfect. And you need to know that it's a more complicated tense. Okay, it's a more complicated tense. It's a more complicated tense. It's a more complicated tense, or complicated, or in other words, it's a more difficult tense. It's a more difficult tense, and you mostly need to know special words. So when we use these tenses, so you mostly need to know special words. So when you need to use this tense, when you need to use this tense. Okay, so and if we look at present perfect, yeah, so we call it, yeah, present perfect, and you need to know these words. Yeah, so the meaning is that there is a connection with the present. There is a connection with the present. It's the most important thing. Yeah, there is a connection with the present. Yeah, for example, I just said it. I just said it, I've just said it. So just means not a long time ago. We see the connection with the present, and you know that we use present perfect with such words as already, so just, so ever, so we often use it with never, so yet, yeah, and for and since. So we often use, yeah, present perfect with these things, and also many times or several times, 2 times, 3 times, yeah. But the most important thing, yeah, if we are talking about present perfect, yes, is if there is a connection with the present, and so when you want to emphasize the result, when you want to emphasize the result, to say that it's really important. So I've said it or I've done it. So it means that it's really so important, yeah. So I've said it, result, yeah. Sorry, yeah, we pronounce it as result, yeah. But in fact, we spell it another way, as you see. So result, yeah. So I've said it. So we can say I've said it, so to show its importance, or I've just said it. So you need to know these words, yeah. And we look at past perfect, yeah. So we also use it with such words as already. So it's a very common word for past perfect. But the idea is that this tense is one time before. For example, so yeah, we need more space, yeah. So when I came home, she had already left. So let's look at the formation of past perfect. Yes, you see had plus the third form. You see. So had plus the third form. We know this thing here, leave, left, and left is the second form, and it's also the third form. So it means that it's one time before. So first, you know, first you left, first she left, yeah, first she left. So and only then, then you came home. Okay. So it's a very important thing. So it's one time before. And and if we look at future perfect, yeah, it's future perfect. Also, you know that if we look at this, yeah, tense, so we also use it with special words, and just need to pay attention to the following word as by. For example, so I will have reached the next level by next month. So, and this actually short word by tells us that we need to use this tense. And if you look at it, we'll have plus, yeah, not this one, so we'll have plus the third form. So we'll have, you see, we'll have, or, you know, we mostly use short forms, reached, so the next level by next month. Yeah, and if we look at this fourth group, yeah, perfect continuous, you just need to understand a very important thing. So it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, the group present perfect, or it's like the group perfect, but when there is a duration. So duration, it means that so it's a long action. And we often use it. We also often use it with special words like for. Yeah, for, it's a very common word for perfect continuous. Remember, so it's like, you know, perfect, the group perfect. So which means plus four, and you know that for, it means, so what does it mean? It means duration, yeah. And you see how it's easier to understand. So for example, yeah, you can say I have been learning English for 3 years. I have been learning English for 3 years. So it's like present perfect, yeah, the result is important, but you also have for, and that's why you use have been plus verb plus ing. It's what you see here, have or has been plus verb plus ing. And you see the same thing, it's about past perfect and future perfect, yeah, so it's almost the same thing, yeah. For example, so you have this example, as you remember, so when I came home, yeah, we can use the same structure, so I can say that when I came home, she had been reading that book for half an hour. She had been reading that book for half an hour. When I came home, she had been reading that book for half an hour. So you see for, and so it's one time before, like past perfect, but for. So had been plus verb plus ing, and in fact it's what you see here. It's very easy, yeah, to remember. And future perfect, yeah, will have been plus verb plus ing. So it's like future perfect plus by. For example, I will have been working on this project for 2 weeks by next month. I will have been working on this project for 2 weeks by next month. Okay, I will have been working on this project for 2 weeks by next month. It's exactly what you see here. As I told you, it's perfect plus for. Okay, you just need to understand, yeah, the meaning of each group and the formation, and we talked about it, and you can save, yeah, this slide, and it will help you a lot, I'm sure. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video is all 12 English tenses in 10 minutes, really, just imagine it. And we are going to focus on the formation of these tenses. Okay, are you ready? Good. So the first tense is present simple. Present simple. Do you remember how we form it? So verb or verb plus s if it's he, she, it. For example, they check his work. They check his work. Okay, good. Okay, let's say the same. Let's say the same in past simple. In past simple, so it's easier. So to form past simple, you need to use the second form. The second form. I hope that you remember it. So if we look at this sentence, yeah, so check, next checked, and checked. So it's the second form is the same as the third form, yeah. So okay, so they checked his work. They checked his work, yeah. So the form is the same for regular verbs. So if it's an irregular verb, you need to remember this form, yeah. So present simple, past simple, okay, it's easy. So what about future simple? Okay, what about future simple? It's also very easy. So let's say it. So how we form it? Will plus verb, and we talk about the future. So they will check his work. Okay, normally we use a short form instead of a long form. Okay, so short form, so you say they'll check his work, and it's a very good idea to say it this way. It sounds very natural. So they'll check his work. Okay, well done. Okay, next. So you see continuous, yeah? So the next group is continuous. Well, so present continuous. How do we form this tense? Present continuous. It's easy. Am is plus are plus verb plus ing. Okay, so I am, he, she, it is, we, you, they are. Look, you can say they are checking his work, and it means that it's happening now. It means that it's happening now at the moment. Okay, very good. Okay, what about past continuous? Okay, past continuous. How do we form past continuous? I hope that you remember it. So it's was or were plus verb plus ing. So it's a long action. It's a long action in the past. It's a long action in the past. We often use it with when. So when I came home, they were checking, checking so his work. They were checking his work. Okay, so you see present continuous for things which are happening now, past continuous for long actions in the past, was verb plus ing, good. And what about future continuous? Future continuous, and how do we form it? We form future continuous this way. So will be plus verb plus ing. So we use it for long actions. For long actions in the future. And okay, so let me give you an example. So they'll be checking. So his work, you can say they'll check his work, but it's a short action. If you say they'll be checking his work, it means that it's important. It's important, and it's long action. Important and long action. Okay, good. Well done. So future continuous will be plus verb plus ing. So next, so perfect, perfect. So it's about present perfect. Okay, so how do we form it? Have or has plus past participle. So you can say they have checked his work. Normally we use it with different time markers. So it's about the past. So but there is a connection. With the present here. Okay, it's an important thing. And we usually use it with different time markers, such as, for example, already, just, and so on. So they have present perfect. They have already checked his work. It's about the past, and there is a connection with the present. So past perfect. One more interesting tense. So past perfect. It's about the past, but it's one time before. How do we form it? Had plus past participle. So you see, for example, he said that they had checked his work. So he said it's about the past, but had checked happened earlier. So, and you say had plus past participle. So checked, it's a past participle. Okay, past perfect. Okay, very good, my friends. Okay, so let's talk about future perfect. We use it when we talk about the future, I mean this tense, but the question is, what's the formation of future perfect? It's will have plus past participle. So will have plus past participle, and we use it when we have by. So you can say that they will have checked his work by, let's say, by next week. Okay, so we'll have plus past participle when we have by. Okay, so what about the group? You mean perfect continuous. So you know present perfect continuous, we often use it. So when we have for and since. So when do we use this tense? Okay, and how do we form it? So have has plus been plus verb plus ing. For example, I can say they have been checking his work for 20 minutes. What does it mean? it means that they started doing it 20 minutes ago and they are still doing it. Okay, so they started, it's a very important thing, they started doing it, so 20 minutes ago, and what? And they are still doing it, okay, it's a very important point. Okay, and two more important tenses, we call it past perfect continuous, okay, so we form it had been plus verb plus ing. So they had been checking his work. We mostly use it in complex sentences, yeah, and so future perfect continuous, this tense isn't so common, but anyway, you just need to know this structure. Will have been plus verb plus ing. We use it when we have by and for. So for example, they will have been checking his work, so for 20 minutes by midday, for example, but midday. Okay, very good. So you see the formation and the examples. These tenses aren't so common, but anyway, you need to know them, I think so. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and I believe that's the most important exercises. So if you really want to know English tenses so perfectly, okay, so you know that basically, so if we are talking about English tenses, English tenses, there are 12 English tenses. Okay, let's name these tenses. Okay, so first we're going to talk about simple tenses. So we call this group simple. So you can say it so present simple, so past simple, and future simple. Okay, so next, so you need to keep in mind that there is another group. So we call this group continuous. It's the second group. So present simple, then continuous, and so similarly we say it in present, in past, and in future. So you say present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, past continuous and future continuous. Right. So the third group, so it's the first big group, so we call it simple. The second big group, and so the third big group is perfect, and again we say it in present, so you get present perfect, so past perfect, and future perfect. Okay, the most difficult group is called perfect continuous. So it's considered to be the most difficult group, and we have so these tenses, so present perfect continuous, so past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. Okay, so you see that there are four groups. We call these groups so simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous, and there are so 3 times for each group. So and as a result you have 12 tenses. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 12, or you can multiply 3 by 4 and you'll get 12. It's the same. So yeah, so practice is very important, but first of all you need to know so what English tenses exist. And you see, yeah, there are 12 tenses. So the second thing you need to know is formation. So formation, so how we form it, how we form these tenses, how we form it, how we form these tenses. And the last thing, yeah, so least but not last, it means it's the last thing, yeah, but it's doesn't mean that it's so unimportant. So on the contrary, it's so important. So it's practice, and I believe that it's the best exercises. So if you really want, yeah, to master your skills related to English tenses, yeah, in particular. Well done, my friends. So you see, and practice, okay? So let's do this exercise. So you will do this exercise, yeah, with me. We'll do it together, and then for more practice, so for more skills, for more progress, yeah, you can do a similar exercise, yeah. So and I'm sure it'll help you a lot, okay? So formation. So the practice is the following, that you need to open the brackets. So you choose a sentence. For example, yeah, let me give you an example. I read it, yeah, it's a simple sentence, and you need to say one sentence in 12 tenses, yeah. So you need to know the formation of these tenses, how we form it, and you need to practice, lots of practice. So how to say it, it's a very important exercise, it's an extremely important exercise, yeah, and we can't ignore it. So let's do it. Okay, you know that we were talking about present simple, yeah. So we form it this way. So verb or verb plus s. So right, so for this situation, so we have a verb, we need this scheme, or we need this structure. So verb or verb plus s. So verb plus s if it's he, she, it. We don't have he, she, it, so we say I read, I read it, I read it. So past simple, you need to choose so the second form, okay? So you know that this verb is irregular. We say read, 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 and so you say I read it, I read it. As you see, the spelling is the same, but the pronunciation is different, yeah, the spelling is the same, read, but we pronounce it differently. So read, but read, read. So I read it, okay? Good. So next, so future simple, will plus verb. So you can say I will read it, or we mostly use short forms, I'll read it, yeah. So you know that we mostly use simple tenses, and you should know this thing first of all. It's the most important thing, really. Next, present continuous. When you form present continuous, you need to understand that continuous, it's a long action, and you need ing. So you need ing in so present continuous, past continuous, and future continuous. Okay, so in other words, yeah, we form it this way: am, so is, are, plus verb, plus ing. Am is, are, plus verb, plus ing. Okay, so I suppose that we need a little bit more space. No problem. Okay, it's okay now. So, and we say I am or I'm. So I'm reading it. I'm reading it. Next, past continuous. So it's was or were plus verb plus ing, and you say I was reading it. So you know that I, he, she, it was, we, you, they were. Future continuous, yeah, it's easy to form it, so will be plus verb plus ing. So you can say I will be reading it, I will be reading it, it's a long action, or we mostly use short forms, you know, so you'll have I'll be reading it. Present perfect. So you need to remember that if you're talking about perfect tenses, so use the third form. So the third form, you need to know regular and irregular verbs to form it. So it just, you know, have or has. Have or has plus the third form. Have or has plus the third form. Okay? So you see, and you'll say I have. So I, we, you, they have. He, she, it has. I have read it. I have read it. So you choose, so the third form, past perfect. So it's had plus the third form. Yes, plus the third form. So I had read it. Yeah, and you see future perfect. So it's will have plus the third form. And it will be I will have read it. I will have read it. Present perfect continuous. So actually most people believe that these tenses are not so easy and we don't need them, but anyway I tend to think that we need to know how we form them. Occasionally we met them, okay? And we are still meeting them. Okay, so present perfect continuous. So it's have or has. And you need to remember that if we're talking about present, about this group perfect continuous, it's always so been plus verb plus ing. So been plus verb plus ing. So let's put it in brackets. Let's put it in brackets. So been plus verb plus ing, and if we're talking about present continuous, yeah, so it's have or has plus been plus verb plus ing. So you'll say I have been reading, I have been reading it, or you can say it I've been reading it. It's a short form, so past perfect continuous. Had plus so what you had in brackets, so plus been plus verb plus ing. So I had been reading it. I had been reading it, and you see future perfect, it's will have plus what? Plus the same thing. Plus the same thing. So it's you see been plus verb plus ing. Okay? So let's revise it so very shortly. Okay? Let's revise it very shortly. And I know that so we don't have enough space. No problem. So we have some examples. Yeah, but I'll try to be short. I'll try to be short. So let's, just I need to write it for myself. So I will have been reading it. I will have been reading it. I will have been reading it. Okay, so these things are really so important. These things are really so important. Okay, and so let's revise it very quickly. So I really think that we need this kind of general revision. Okay, so just we have so tenses, affirmation, and practice. I think that this thing is really so important. And what we need to do, I think is that we need actually to highlight it, so to give it another color to it, yeah, to give it another color to it. So let's make it brighter. Just a second, I'll do it. So we have it, yeah, in different colors. Yeah, and to sum up, you just need to actually, first of all, yeah, to know basic tenses, yeah. Then you need to understand so what English tenses, so you can actually study. So you see 4 different groups and 12 tenses. You also need to know the formation of each tense. So don't think that it's unimportant. It's very important. Although we mostly use so simple tenses or continuous perfect tenses, so you need to know other structures as well, as sometimes you can meet them. And the most important thing, so after actually you've had a look at this list of tenses, of their formation, yes, you need to have practice, so lots of practice. And the most important and the basic thing you need to do actually is to say one sentence in all these tenses, so it'll help you, to memorize it much better, and you'll do it automatically. Really, you'll be do it automatically. And as far as I'm concerned, so I believe it's the best exercise, yeah, for a start. So you can choose another sentence and you can do it by yourself. So really, it's actually it's an absolutely amazing practice, yeah, and which you need actually to keep daily or at least on a regular basis. And then so everything is okay, yeah, or at least it seems to you, yeah. So you need actually to use more difficult sentences, and you need to add different time markers. For example, you know that we often use for example, present continuous with now, at the moment, and you can say it, for example, I'm reading it at the moment. You just need, yeah, or perfect. Let's look at present perfect. So we often use present perfect just already. You can say it, I've already read it. Or maybe past continuous, we often use it with, complex sentences with when or while. So when I came back, she was cooking. Yeah, so there is one short action, so came back, and there is one long action, so was cooking. So yeah, you just need actually to add some time markers, and it's also a good idea to make up, let's say, maybe 30 examples in each of these tenses. For example, 30 examples, 30 sentences with present simple, past simple, future simple, so different situations, not only this. And if you actually do it step by step, I am sure that your progress is inevitable. It'll come really soon. Okay, really, let's hope for the best. Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you.